Alright, good morning. So today is going to be a really cool day. Today's going to be the last day that I'm over 13,000 feet, and there's going to be a really cool knife edge ridge scramble. So really excited for today, so let's get moving. So this is where I slept, just on this bench, and you're not actually supposed to camp here. There's a sign which says no overnight camping inside building, but oh well, let's get moving. Alright, it's time to gain some elevation. Alright, so I'm currently on top of Mount Flora, which is over 13,000 feet. And from here, I'm now going off of the main CDT route in order to actually follow the actual continental divide and stay high on a ridgeline. So I think it's going to be really interesting from here. So the main CDT route basically goes down into the valley, I think, and then up to James Peak. Whereas what I'm going to do is just stay high on the ridge, and basically from here, so I'm on Mount Flora. After this, I'm going to summit Mount Ava, and then Parry Peak, and then Mount Bancroft, and then James Peak. So multiple peaks along the way, but I don't think it's too much elevation. It's basically, multiple kind of small peaks along the ridgeline. So that's going to be cool. And I think all of those peaks are above 13,000 feet. I think I'm doing about I think I'm doing 5 13ers basically. So that's pretty cool. Lots of peak bagging, I guess. It's also really cold up here actually. Right now I'm sheltered by these rocks here, but it's been really, really windy this morning. So it's going to be kind of brutal on that ridge, but I'll get it done. So let me just show you the view here. So I think basically the CDT goes somewhere down in this valley, and then somewhere goes back up to reach James Peak. I'm not sure if I can see James Peak from here. Maybe I can. It might be straight up over there. But basically I think this is the ridge that I'm going to follow. So just going along here and bagging some peaks along the way. Alright, so now I'm on top of Mount Ava, another 13er, and over there you can see where I came from. I came from basically right there, and that's Mount Flora, where I branched off of the CDT. Pretty amazing views here. By the way, you can see it's very flat in this direction beyond the mountains. I'm looking towards the east this way, so somewhere over there is Denver, I think right behind the mountains. I think I can actually just about see Denver, like over there. Or yeah, somewhere over there. But anyway, that direction is Kansas. There's no way I can see Kansas. I assume just like eastern Colorado is really flat, but obviously also Kansas is flat. So yeah, it's cool just being right on the edge of the Rocky Mountains, and just it looks very flat in the distance. Alright, so this is the view from Mount Ava again, and there's Mount Flora where I came from. The views over here are really cool, and you can see here, this is where I'm going. So I'm going to go along this ridge and up to Parry Peak, and then after Parry Peak I'm continuing on the ridge, and I think that's Mount Bancroft, and then behind Bancroft is James Peak. So can't see James Peak yet, but that's where I'm heading to, I'm pretty sure. So some guy just hiked past me going the other way, and he had skis on his back, and I asked him, "Are you really skiing out here?" And he said he actually skied down this, which is pretty crazy. I don't know how well you can tell from here, but that looks very steep to me. So this guy's hiking out here with skis on his back. He literally said he did a lap down there and then just hiked back up. Crazy. Alright, so this is Parry Peak. Made it to the summit. Alright, so now that I'm on top of Parry Peak, you can see where I came from. So on the left is Ava and on the right is Flora. So that's where I've come from. And I actually think, I could be wrong, but way in the distance, those two peaks, I think the one on the left is Gray's Peak and the one on the right is Torrey's, and those are the two 14ers that I summited quite recently, and you know, the last two 14ers on the CDT. And we've got some cool views. So down here you can see Winter Park, so that's where I was yesterday. And then over here we got some cool mountains. And then over here you can see where I'm going. So this is the next peak, that's Bancroft. And then after that, so obviously I'm going to follow the ridge up to there. And then I think this is going to be the most difficult part down here. And I'm going to go up to James Peak, and James Peak is where I reconnect with the CDT. Also, I actually think that after James Peak I can see the trail, so I'm going to zoom in all the way here. Now down here I can see a trail kind of going close to the ridge along there. I don't know if you can see that well, but I think that's probably the CDT. Because yeah, basically on this route there's been no trail essentially. Occasionally you see a faint trail, but yeah, most of the time this has just been kind of cross-country traversing. It's really easy. It's not really a knife-edge ridge. It is a bit rocky at times, but yeah, you just follow the ridge. You don't really need a trail. Alright, so I'm on top of Mount Bancroft now. Peak number 4 for the day. You can see where I came from. That's Parry Peak, and then further back is, as I said before, there's Ava and Flora somewhere back there. And next up is the final peak, and that's James Peak right there. And I think this is going to be the steepest part, steep down and then steep back up. And by the way, today is one of those days where it is crazy windy up here, but you probably don't notice it too much because of this microphone that I'm using. This microphone that comes with the DJI Pocket 2 camera. It's honestly so nice to have this, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to film any talking clips up here because the wind is really crazy. Right now I'm sheltered by these rocks, but yeah, it's a windy day. Alright, so I made it to the top of James Peak. This is the final 13,000 foot peak, the fifth peak of today, and the thunderstorms are starting to roll in now. Not too serious yet though. And so that's Bancroft and that's Parry. And then actually in between them you can see, you can definitely at least see Ava, maybe Flora as well. So all the peaks that I did. So I guess actually at the beginning when I said that I couldn't see James Peak, that it was behind the other mountains, I think I probably could actually see James. But yeah, that's all 5 peaks done. As you can see, it's nice clear skies to the east or to the north. But the storms are rolling in from the southwest. Pretty standard. Doesn't look too bad so far. But yeah, it's pretty exciting being up here. This was kind of a major milestone or checkpoint in my mind, just knowing that it's the final time that I'm above 13,000 feet. And yeah, today's been absolutely amazing. Honestly, one of my favorite days so far. I love this type of hiking. I love the scrambling on rocks. I wish there was more of a knife edge scramble. I wish it was more serious scrambling, because I love scrambling. I love that type of stuff. And it's good having a light pack. You know, my pack is tiny, so makes the scrambling a lot safer and easier. But yeah, what an amazing day so far. I mean, it's not even 12 o'clock yet, and I've already summited 5 peaks, which are all over 13,000 feet each. So yeah, what an awesome start to the day. So now I'm going downhill, and I think fairly soon I'll reach the forest, and then it's relatively flat until I reach Grand Lake. Oh, that's the other thing. I wonder if I can see Grand Lake. So I don't know if it's possible to see Grand Lake from here. I think maybe Lake Granby. So in the distance you can actually see James Peak. That was the last peak that I did. Alright, so I haven't actually filmed much in a while because the usual reason, just basically, you know, storms started rolling in, and basically on and off it was raining, not much though, just like a sprinkle every now and then, but I kind of just kept the camera away because it looked like at any moment it could pour rain, so didn't film much. But there was actually some really nice scenery for a while. After James Peak, you basically follow a ridge still. You're just lower down, so you've dropped some elevation, but you're still kind of like following a ridge for a while. And there's some cool views. You go past a lake called King Lake, and there are lots of wildflowers. I'll put some pictures in the video now. I'll put some photos in because I did have my camera out. but there was actually some really nice scenery for a while. For most of the day there was really nice scenery, because obviously I had a lot of fun this morning doing those 5 peaks on that traverse, and it was kind of all off trail as well, and a little bit of scrambling and stuff, and that was really fun. But after that, dropping down off of James Peak, you drop elevation, but you don't go into the forest for a while. You stay above the tree line on a ridge for quite a while, and actually on that ridge walk there's still no trail. You actually just follow, there's occasionally a post, like trail markers, but not that many of them. You're kind of just going cross country basically, so it's actually really cool. It was a fun day. Like, most of it was off trail, just kind of cross country. But yeah, so after going along the ridge for a while, I ended up eventually dropping elevation, going down into the tree line, and that was only about an hour ago. So since then I've just been hiking in the forest, and from now until Grand Lake is about 25 miles away, is mostly flat, and I think mostly just in the forest until I reach Lake Granby and Grand Lake. So yeah, probably not much else to see until I get to Grand Lake other than the forest, which is really nice. But pretty much wherever I get to today guarantees me to get to Grand Lake tomorrow, because it should be an easy 20 something miles in. So yeah, so I probably won't give another update for today. I'm just gonna hike a couple more miles in the forest and then find somewhere to camp. But once again, today was a really cool day. Really enjoyed all of that kind of off trail peak bagging and stuff. It was really cool. So yeah, anyway, see you guys tomorrow.